everyone, welcome to Lauren's Scrap Lot. My name is Lauren Urbonis and you have found my Show Me How It's Done series. I am very happy today to show you an alternative project for the Harvest Home Garland Kit. This is an online exclusive kit where you'll find all of our kits collection. They're released every month at the beginning of the month, at least 2 of them via my online store. So if you'd like to check those out, the website is listed at the bottom, laurenurbonis.stampingup.net, and you can see a whole plethora of past kits and of course new ones coming out in October as well. Now this garland is gorgeous. If you were to make it as a home decor piece, it would be stunning and a lot of fun. However, when I opened up this box, I was astounded to find at least 200 of these beautiful, gorgeous leaves, all in different shapes and sizes. So I thought, what if I recreated this into a card form that I could actually use for my October card class? So here's what I came up with. I'd love to share with you guys how I did it. But of course, if you don't have these products, you can use something that you've had from the past. Perhaps you grabbed last year the Love of Leaves bundle. You could recreate the card with this. Or maybe you've ordered the newest leaf bundle. It's called Gathering Moments, and you can see there's beautiful leaves in this set as well. Same idea, you could do a similar layout, but I decided I'm going to use the Harvest Home Kit. So follow along with me and hopefully you'll be able to see something in these pieces that you can use and recreate for yourselves. So let me move this out of the way here. I didn't end up using, you can see inside my little box here, there is a bunch of little acorns and of course the kind of the thick twine that you would make the garland out of. I haven't put those two to use yet. I just used all of the leaves, but for over 200 leaves, you can do so much with them. I was able to prep the 50 cards that I needed for class and probably play with a few that are left over. So here we go. We're going to start with a piece of very vanilla cardstock. This is going to be 4 1/4 by 11. And we're putting a score mark at 5.5 in the middle of the card, just so it opens up and down. Now, typically I would put something on the inside of a card because it's very challenging to write on dark colors, and that's usually what I use for a card base. But with a vanilla or a white base, I actually don't have to put anything inside. If you want your card to be a little sturdier, you can come back later and layer a few things in. I would suggest a piece of early Espresso cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then probably another piece of vanilla, which would end up being 3 3/4 by 5. That's completely optional. I don't find this card is very top heavy, so it's okay if you don't put anything on the inside. Now, the first layer that I'm going to put on here looks kind of funny to you guys, and I'll explain why. This is one of our new metallic papers. It's called Earthen Tones, and it comes in a set of 3 12 by 12 sheets. But of course, metallic papers are valuable, and you are really only seeing this tiny little section of them. So what I love to do is I love to take some dies from a project that I'm doing somewhere else and cut pieces out ahead of time. So this is actually going to be for another project that I'm doing for my October card club. If you're in Canada, those kits are $20 or they are free if you place an order online of $40 or more before shipping and tax. So if you're interested at all, the October kit would be featuring kind of this autumn theme. And it'll be a set of 3 cards with a little private video that you get sent to complete the projects. Of course, everything's cut and prepped besides your sentiments. Those you'll have to use something from your own collections. So here we go. We've got a gorgeous piece of metallic. I've cheated and cut some center out of it, but for the measurements for this piece, we're going to go 3 3/4 by 5 inches. This piece I'm popping up on dimensionals just to start giving a little bit of life to my project. And then we're going to add another layer with some Very Vanilla in just a second as well. So this piece you will need well supported, so make sure to put dimensionals all the way around the perimeter. And I'm even going to toss a couple in the center just to make sure it's all supported, because we're putting a lot of weight on the front here. So make sure you've done a good job all the way around. For the leaf colors, I didn't have to do any cutting, but if you are doing this on your own, you've decided to use one of your leaf sets, you're going to grab some Calypso Coral or Cajun Craze, Balmy Blue, Soft Seafoam, Crumb Cake, and then any metallic looking piece that you want. There's of course the metallic, I forget what it's called. It's that assorted gold metallic set with kind of like the light gold and then the darker almost copper, or you could go for the earthen tones as well. Totally up to you. Maybe you've got some old bronze lying around. Any of those shades look fantastic. And the two-tone cardstock is really nice for this kind of a card because it's a softer look on the one side as opposed to some of the very heavy colors. So this to me feels kind of like the back sides of our two-tone cardstock. We'll chat about these branches in a second. Here's this piece. Nobody's going to know now that we are covering it over with another piece of Very Vanilla. This piece here, you can see a little bit of embossing done on that. So to start with, I cut it at 3.5 by, I'm losing my notes, there we go, 4 3/4. And then I used the new Gathering Leaves embossing folder. So just to add a little subtle detail to the background there, we're going to put this flat now onto our little metallic piece. Tape or seal or glue. I don't really suggest glue for this one because it might smear on your metallics and it's a little frustrating. And just because I want a nice perimeter here, I'm going to put adhesive all the way around. When you emboss a piece of paper, some parts of it don't love to stick. So I just love to give it the best chance it has possible by putting adhesive all the around. You don't need to do anything in the middle, especially on this one because we've chopped out the center. There we go. And there should be just a slight border all the way around. Okay, now my cutting was done for me when it came to my leaves. I didn't have to cut any of these out because they all come pre-cut from that kit. They do all come on specific sheets. I should have a scrap one here. There you go. Here's a few scraps. See, they come in sheets like this and you just pop them out. They're little die cuts and they're already cut and prepped for you. And they're going to look different in every combination. So there was, I think, about 10 different colors in there. Some have texture, some have metallics, some are plain. They all have gorgeous embossing, but you're just going to mix and match kind of one of each size. There's the 4, and then you'll end up with a pile of extras later that you can just stick in wherever you want. Okay, so one of each is what we're going to start with here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to grab this large guy here, the maple leaf. I'm in Canada, anybody's wondering. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this guy, and we're going to start building all of our pieces around it. Of course, you can do whatever you want with these cards too. This is simply an idea, but I have lots of people who are like, show me exactly how you put them on because I want things layered. So that's what we're doing. But this kit is fantastic. You could literally just sit down and make a whole set of cards. Maybe you want some place settings for your Thanksgiving meal. You could do that for people instead. Lots of fun. Okay, so right up in the top area here for that piece. Now your large leaf, there's a couple different patterns. One of them has the round edges, one of them has spikies, doesn't matter. But we're going to pop this one up on top of the maple leaf. So I'm actually putting my dimensionals, instead of on the back of this leaf, just right on the maple underneath. So I like to just put, a couple that I know for sure will be covered. Don't worry about how the stems are lying because that's why we're using a decal. We're gonna cover all that up later, okay? So here we go. Keep these on the card, but they can come off of, you know, this centerpiece. Next comes these two little focal pieces, and same idea, we're just building our card up. So I'm gonna start by putting, let's see, this guy in place. So I'm just gonna put some adhesive down here at the bottom. Dimensionals are so strong, so you don't really have to worry about them attaching properly as long as you've got one or two in there. Okay, and pile this guy. We'll layer some of those up. Don't know if this one is tall enough. I'm going to stick one more dimensional under there. You need a little bit more support. There you go. Nice thing about dimensionals, they can just tuck under. All right. So I do think the card looks beautiful just with 4, and you can put a decal here, but it kind of was a little empty for me. So I did grab one extra, and this is going to be kind of, you know, whatever you have left in your stash, just one extra leaf to fill in this bottom space here. They'll all be different colors and textures, so don't match everything accordingly. There we go. Okay, now when we come to our decal, I grabbed a Stylish Shapes circle. This is the 4th smallest. So if you look at the smallest one and then count 4 out, that's just what fit with the sentiment I wanted to use. Please feel free to use any sort of sentiment that you want. You can make this a thank you card, a thinking of you card, more of a autumn wishes card. We have some beautiful sentiments, but this is a sentiment that I just thought fit with the season of autumn, could fit with Thanksgiving, but also could just, you know, be a regular card too. So it came from the set Peaceful Seasons, and that one I think disappeared from the last chance. I'm so sorry. When I was planning this, I had grabbed it and I think it's gone. But there's so many possibilities. So don't hold me to the sentiment here, but mine says, wishing you all the things that warm your heart and lift your spirits. There's some great autumn sets with, you know, I'm so grateful for you and those sorts of things too. So Early Espresso is my ink of choice for this one. It's going to go with those natural tones. If you don't have Early Espresso, crumb cake would be gorgeous as well. You can go black if you need to, but try to keep it really natural or match one of the colors of your leaves too. You can, you know, use some of those colors incorporated here. So my little sentiment here, I want it to be the focus of the card. So I want it actually to be taller than all of the leaves, which means I need to do a little stacking. And I feel like I've been doing this a lot lately, but instead of one layer of dimensionals, which I'm going to take those backings off here, I'm actually going to stack 2 dimensionals on top of one another to give an extra layer of pop. Okay, this does still fit in an envelope, don't worry, but she's a little thick and that's okay. It's gorgeous that way. So you see, I just kind of filled in all of this space here. Oh, you don't want to come off. There you go. And we're going to put our little decal right in this bottom corner. You can either come down or you can go up. I think I might need to move this guy up a little bit. Just to make sure it's not poking through. And see all those ugly stems we were so worried about? Nobody's going to notice them. Okay, so I loved this card like it was, and I almost just had to walk away when I was designing it, because I knew it needed something, but I didn't know what. So because I didn't use a die set to start with, I didn't have any little leaves or pieces to finish it off with. So what I decided to do was I went to my shelf and I looked for a branch of some sort. So I just so happened across the set called Delightful Wishes, and it has this gorgeous standalone branch, which is meant to have, you know, beautiful flower blossoms and whatnot. So this is just one of the many branches that we have in our collections right now. You can look through your dies. Some of those great tree sets might have a branch like this. We have a few Christmas sets often that, you know, have a branch. If you have some of the older, like Silent Night with the little owls, there's a branch. So grab a branch from somewhere. This guy is still current, but you probably have something in your collection regardless, okay? So it makes this one really large branch. I decided I didn't really need that much, so instead of wasting my gorgeous metallic paper, I'm just gonna trim this down. And now I have 2 branches to be able to tuck in behind. Now, glue dots are gonna be, pardon me, the easiest thing to use when we're attaching this, because all you need to do is put a tiny glue dot on the very base of your stem and kind of tuck it in behind everything else. So we've got this guy on the bottom, and I'm just going to tuck this between these layers. You might bump into a dimensional, so you'll just have to kind of fish around and put it where you would like it to go. Do you see how it's just breaking up the colors? It's kind of bringing your focus to back. So anything, any like small sort of die. I'm just now thinking the Kintsugi Inspiration Suite has kind of a cracked glass look at that. There's a die, and that is in the annual catalog. That one would work too. You just want something subtle in here, okay? And I just cut those from the scraps that I had left over after cutting all of these bases. So far, so good. We need to do a little bit more. Let's add some details. So if you type in embellishments or you look on your shelves, let's be honest, you're going to have all sorts of embellishments that you can use. Gold would look good, copper would look good, any sort of fall colors would look good. So the one set that I really wanted to use is called Cajun Craze and Gold Dots. However, and see, that's even suggested to use with this great autumn suite. Can't see that too well, but look how pretty they are. But I hosted bingo the other week, and it was one of the things that I gave away, not remembering that I needed to use it for autumn projects. So I've reordered it, so I will have it for my October kits, but I just had to go to my shelf and grab something else. Maybe you own these ones too. I've lost them. They're somewhere. Here we go. I just grabbed one set of faux glass dots. So these guys are not available anymore. Please don't fall in love with them. But you can still get these. You can still get all sorts of other dies or embellishments that work. But just something, okay? You're going to grab a large and 2 smalls to decorate your decal. And however that works is completely up to you, okay? So don't feel bad if you don't own everything I'm using, okay? You guys should just use what you have and add in little things as you receive inspiration. Speaking of which, there is a fantastic starter kit deal starting on October 1st. So if you're in Canada at all, I would love to chat with you, have you join my team. You can pick from one of 2 options here, okay? So there's 2 different starter kits. One of them is going to cost you our standard $135, but you get to pick out $265 worth of products, and that can be anything you want. So you can be looking online, annual catalog, holiday catalog, anything you want. You're going to pick all of that out for your starter kit, and you're going to pay 0 shipping and 0 tax in order to get started on my team. There's also another option if you're like, I don't have $135. I know that's your usual starter kit price, but what else can I do? So Stampin' Up! Is offering you the chance just in October to pick $168 worth of product and pay $46. So you're still getting a ton of stuff for free, but it's only a $46 investment, and you can get so many things. If you've got the cut and emboss machine, for instance, on your list, which I know a couple of you do, then this would be a great time to get the cut and emboss machine and something else free, because you can still get it at a massive discount. So if you're in Canada at all and you have any questions, please message me. As of October 1st, if you head to my website, there will be details on there as well, and it'll be just a quick and easy join my team also. So I do monthly team meetings, and you get some fun crafting ideas, and we just do shout outs for everybody's accomplishments. But just throwing it out there, you don't have to do it. You're always welcome to order through your own demonstrators, but I have to share a good deal when it's there. So I hope you guys liked this card. I will be here on Thursday night as well, because I post every Tuesday with my Show Me How It's Done series, and every Thursday with the Great North American Stamping Show. And you are going to want to tune in this Thursday, because I have a over-the-top project and an exciting announcement about a retreat in a box class that I am going to be hosting with Lisa, Julie, and Jody. And we are so excited to announce that Thursday night for you guys. So I'll see you Thursday night at 5, and next Tuesday again for another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye, guys.